welcome back to the Hull City Fan Central YouTube channel, where today we actually won an away game, or actually won a game full stop. Our first away win of the season, our first promising win, I've got to say, in some time. Our first away win since that Middlesbrough win, I think it was last April. So yeah, a big win for Hull City tonight. A beautiful goal from Greg Doherty, a nice goal from Regan Slater, and then a goal from Ryan Longman to top it off as well, making it 3-1 on the night away in Blackpool. So we're climbing up the table now in 19th, moving up from 21st. So etching a little bit further up, and some fantastic performances. I've got to say, don't get too ahead of yourselves though. We have got Rotherham away at the weekend. We are in a position now where we need to bounce off this win. We need to bounce off it. We've got the momentum with us. We've won a game tonight. We've held out for 90 minutes plus, and come away with a 3-1 win. We need to just hold out with it within that Rotherham game. It's points like these where we get too far ahead of ourselves. Like we think, oh, we've won this game, we're now going to win the league. No. There is still so far to come before we can even say that we'll be even in this league come next season. We need to work on what lacked us in tonight, what stopped us from excelling on to maybe scoring a fourth or a fifth. And what stopped that, some of the defending tonight was a little bit dodgy. I've got to say that we need to work on that in training. We need to improve on tonight's performance. It was a good performance, but we can improve on it and make it a magnificent performance against Rotherham and hopefully grabbing our second away win of the season. So I'm just going to go over a few performances tonight and say a little bit about who I think is man of the match. So obviously it was an interesting starting lineup to start off with, none the least. Obviously with Oscar Estupinian on the bench for I think it was the first time that he started on the bench this season. And decent shout, may I say. Ryan Longman grabbing the opening goal from that corner that, yeah, it was a lucky goal in comparison to the other goals in the game, but it was needed. We was on the front foot for the first 30 minutes. And we needed that goal just to solidify that a bit more. Then they replied with one about 3 minutes later, which was a bit frustrating. And then just before half-time, Greg Doherty, may I just add, Greg Doherty powered a ball into the top right corner, sent me screaming, and it was beautiful. So we were leading 2-1 at half-time, and then Regan Slater grabs one halfway through the second half, making it 3-1. Performance-wise, I felt defensively was lacking a little bit. I was liking what Greaves was doing down the left-hand side, playing in for Callum Elder, and then obviously moving around when some of the subs came in. I liked what he was doing. It just didn't look that convincing. His pushing forwards, I felt, was nice. It was just what he did. He didn't know what to do with himself once he got the ball in that final third, where crossing and playing the ball in or playing it back, it just didn't seem to suit him when he was going on the front foot. So that's something I'd like to see worked on. Alfie Jones and Spice Figueiredo, I feel that they had two very solid and well-rounded performances. Defensively, pretty much solid. Nothing too much to comment on there. Right back, Cyrus Crusty. I think he's had a fantastic start to his career at Hull City with these past few games. Obviously, a diamond in the rough, if you want to say that, down that right-hand side. And covering in at right back, right wing back, whatever you want to say his position was tonight, I felt that he did a very nice job again. Moving in a bit more central, I felt the weakest player on our team tonight was actually Jean-Michael Seri. He's not been having performances. Recently, he's been one of the weakest players on the team. Tonight I felt moments when he was getting the ball, I felt a little bit shaky. I was like, oh, right, yes, Seri's got the ball and he doesn't look like he knows what he wants to do with it. We might concede 10 goals here. And we didn't, but it could have gone that way if the wind blew hard enough. Pretty much. Regan Slater, another fantastic performance from the 50 grand man. I felt that he came alive in that second half though. yeah, in the first half he was playing a little bit more passive, but in that second half he really came in with a punch. Obviously with the defensive performance being the strongest in the second half. Then moving a little bit further up, obviously we do have Dimitrios Pelkas, who did a very, very good job as that sort of like technical cam, moving in and out of players, taking the play and creating the play as what he was brought into the club for. This is the reason why I was saying that Dimitrios Pelkas is probably one of the best signings that we got this summer, because of his creativity. Not because he's a clinical finisher, not because he's going to assist loads. It's more because he's creating the chances, creating the goals. It may not seem like it on the stats screens or whatever, but he's there. He's influencing the club. He's changing it game by game, pretty much. Then a bit further up, and we did have Ryan Longman, who grabbed a goal. Maybe the second weakest on the team, I'd probably say. It didn't look very convincing as that sort of striker who's definitely trying to push a lot more of his attacks out to that right-hand wing, which I understand because he is naturally a winger. But I felt that he maybe could have brought things a little bit more central and maybe dominated a little bit more in that clinical area in the final third in the first half, where we did feel to be lacking pretty much. So yeah, I felt that some very nice performances in there. Obviously, a few players coming on the bench and other players in the start lineup, which I won't mention because, yeah, there's no really need to like praise everyone, not until I see a constant stream of good performances. Nathan Baxter tonight was not troubled in the slightest, though. I think they only had one shot on target, and that was their goal, which was, to be fair, a quite a nice goal comparison to our first goal of the evening. So that's what it was. That's how it is, and that's Hull City grabbing the first 3-point away trip this season, hoping to extend on it with the Rotherham away day on Saturday. So stay tuned to this YouTube channel for my prediction and also reaction to that game. By liking and subscribing, that's the way you can stay tuned to all of your Hull City news and content. But this has been the Hull City Fan Central YouTube channel. Goodbye.